folks. I'm Craig Lipinski.
I'm Seth Castellum.
And I'm Chris Dunn.
And you're listening to episode 14 of Ludowave Radio, the smooth sounds of video game talk. And I've had a very busy week. It's been 2 weeks. Usually, the previous week was pretty empty. I didn't do it. Let's be honest. I'm not very interesting. I didn't do anything. Last week was hectic. I can't talk about it on the podcast, but it's a bit crazy. Work's been a bit crazy. I did, however, I can say, the day after the last episode, I got a library card.
Hey,
Mate, what are you going to do with it?
I checked out some books.
nice.
Shut up.
The library is actually that's how I know I'm old. Like, that's how I know I'm in my 30s. I'm like, this place is so cool.
Well, that's like when you're 8 and under, and then when you're old again.
I think that's true. I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, stretch in the middle where it's not cool anymore.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. But the new release section was like a bookstore. They had like books like propped up, and they had like recommendations, like little reviews. I'm like, this is great. I could just take this and walk out. This is phenomenal. Why didn't someone think of this sooner? They had like a multimedia room. It was like there was a bunch of like, I don't know, like young hooligans hanging out in there, like watching movies and stuff. And I'm like, you can just do that? It's like a community center almost. It's really cool.
Goddamn library hooligans.
Yeah.
How about they go out on the street where they belong?
What are my taxes paying for? But it was great. I'm really into it. I'm glad I did. Everyone should have a library card.
I don't even know where the library is near me at this new house. I should look into that.
I have a library card. I go to the library. It's awesome. I can vouch for you, Craig.
I'm against libraries now.
You're against libraries?
Yeah, just hearing both of you all be happy about your library experiences. Nah, fuck libraries.
No, they're a good part of your civic life.
All right, I'll look into it. You convinced me.
All right, I'll twist your arm. So that's me. I got a library card because I'm dull, and then some stuff I'm going to bring up, but I can't talk about. I'm going to just point out my life. It's just been very stressful. It's been a hell of a week. So, Seth, how have you been?
Not great, Craig.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I've been having a bit of a down episode, so probably not fun to talk about. Did I what?
Are your depressive episodes tied to the season?
Well, speaking of things that you can't really get into, something really bad happened around this time last year, and I think it might be tied to that. But yeah, so I've been not great. I've been coming home and sleeping, maybe eating a little and going to work. I'm starting to get on an upswing out of it. It's so a good time for recording. Good thing we're not recording last weekend.
Is it something that is occurring is like a recurring thing, or is it just like it's just memories of that happening this time last year?
Yes, that thing right there. It's
the memories.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. That sucks.
Yeah. No, that's thank you. So yeah, honestly, my life has not been great these past 2 weeks, but I'm okay. Okay now. I just can't talk about it. How
do you cope with that? Are you still doing your like teenager from The Simpsons therapy? Well, Freud says
I'm gonna have to look into a new one that I can't get a hold of that dude. I don't know. I think he dropped out of school or something. I have no idea where he went. So I'm gonna have to look into it.
Just back at the Krusty Burger.
Yeah, I think so.
Your taco fell in the fryer.
He's all like, oh, your issues are making me sad.
Who knew therapy would be such a bummer?
Yeah, no, I've just been, I don't know, just been talking to my girlfriend a bunch. I guess that's the only help I've been having lately. But
you have like a. Are you like me? Do you have like a slim social life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't like doing stuff. Doing stuff is for suckers.
Yeah.
Doing stuff is the worst. But it's good that you have somebody that you're close to that you can talk to about it.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. You guys are starting to depress me again. I was going to just fucking cut this whole thing short.
Nah, I was commiserating. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, okay. That sounded like a very sarcastic, yeah, okay, but it was an understanding one.
I know. He's like,
It's a very
I know
fine
that
line.
sounded shitty. I know that came out of my mouth, so it sounded terrible, but I want to assure you.
I don't know. Anyway, what have you been doing, Chris? Not probably something you can talk about, hopefully?
I guess I
One
got to
of
talk
us,
about
please.
something at this point. Being that it's the new year, I've been trying to be New Year's resolutions and stuff be better. I know that the new year is, just an arbitrary date and it really doesn't freaking matter. But, I've been trying to get back on my, running several times a week and trying to eat fruits and vegetables every day and all this crap, trying to be better because I feel like I'm generally not a very good person in a lot of ways. So,
Chris, you're like...
Let's start with your new Skype avatar. Let's just start that in terms of not being a very good person, because holy shit.
can we make that the episode image? Is that
Oh,
a thing we can
God.
do?
No, we cannot.
no.
Please.
We want to retain our listeners.
I literally took a close-up, terrifying image right before I connected to this Skype call. So Craig and Seth had a very strong reaction when they first saw it. So since nobody that's listening can see it, just want to
Yeah,
explain that.
I'm gonna post it to the Twitter.
That's fair.
Once the episode's up.
That's fine. You should do that because it just you look like the guy who still hangs out at high school.
Yeah.
You got this beat up ass Camaro, just trolling the fucking high school.
Hey,
Yeah.
baby, I'm in ninth grade. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to be better, trying to make my life better in general because I don't know, I go through periods where I don't feel great about myself and I feel like it's a good time to start fixing things, so trying to be good.
Man, I feel like you're easily better than me and probably better than Craig as well. I just, I don't know, man. You're all like,
Yeah, if we're being honest here,
yeah, you're like running marathons and shit. Me and Craig are all like, oh, what's on fucking Netflix binge this week?
I know. I'm just polishing off a bag of generic tortilla chips from Target. Like that's my life.
That doesn't sound so bad. I'd be eating tortilla chips right now if it wouldn't ruin the audio for this podcast.
Like my New Year's resolution, quote unquote, was to stay on top of my work emails better. That's like fucking how shitty I am. Be better at my already easy job.
I should be better about that too. That's a good. Damn, I missed that one.
Getting a library card was one of my resolutions, so I got to take that one off.
Yeah, one of mine is to read more prose books. I read a lot of comic books and graphic novels and stuff, but I don't read enough actual books. And that's not to say that I don't think graphic novels are worthwhile. Obviously, I do because I spend a lot of time doing that. But I'd like to spend more time reading real books too. So that's another thing I've been doing. So I'm going to put my library card to use.
I haven't read a real book in 3 years.
This illiterate fuck.
I wish there was some sort of easy method where I could just go to a building and get some sort of free book or two that I could just read. But alas, there's nothing like that exists.
If only. Yeah.
If only.
No, I love reading. I don't really. I mean, I guess you can call them resolutions, but what I do is I kind of just set these sort of guideposts for myself for the year, and some of them are long term, have X number of dollars in savings by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Some of them are simple that I can take care of whenever, get a library card. So when you need that boost of dopamine or feeling good about yourself to accomplish something, I do one of those. And then some are multi-part ones where hosts 5 game nights. But reading books, I'll put down X number of books. It's not a million books. It's no one goal is designed to put me over, to be super stressful. So, it'll be 1 book a month. I end up reading double that, but for whatever reason I fall short, it's not about beating myself up or anything. So plus 12 books, I'm doing better than fucking Seth over here. So.
Shit sounds like side quests, man. Gotta read 12 books and host 5 game nights, and then you'll get enough.
And you can level up.
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, by the end of the year, you feel like you had a good year. You know, it's not like I said, no one goal is like really super difficult. It's just it kind of gives a well balanced year. Because if I didn't have these things on a checklist I could tick off and feel good about myself, I would just fucking do nothing. I'd sit here and play Overwatch for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah, I mean, my goal actually is 12 books this year, you know, 1 book a month. And I think that's, like I said, I haven't read a lot of books lately, so I think that's a good goal for me. And then, you know, Jackie posted it on Facebook, and one of her friends said, Chris should read more, and then I felt like crap again, so. Because she read like 100 books last year, so.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
100
It's a lot.
She reads
What
really
a
fast.
nerd.
And, seriously. She doesn't listen to this, don't worry.
Yeah, no.
It depends on what you count. I mean, if you count graphic novels, you know, I certainly read more. I don't count those. I don't count, like, Retro Gamer Magazine. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's like 120 pages. Like, each issue is like a fucking book. I don't count that, you know. But, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you read a lot, Chris. I'm sure you read, even if it's not books, I'm sure you're still reading a lot.
Yeah, no, I do. But, you know, It's something you know, when I was growing up, I always liked reading books, and I definitely have fallen off as I've gotten older. So I want to pick it back up, you know, just read a little more often. Like I said, not 50 books a year, but, you know, 1 book a month I think is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just trying to better myself in general, you know.
No, fuck that shit. That's just going to lead to disappointment if I try that.
You never know, Seth. Go find that library.
We'll see.
Yeah, you should get a library card. You should look it up.
All right.
Do it.
All right. Fine. I'll get a library card.
It is nice, too,
Yes!
because the library in my town is connected to the Milwaukee Public Library, so I can actually get books from, like, 12 different libraries in the county. You know, so it's not like when I lived in Connecticut and I was in this small town and it was just this one library, you know, so... I mean, the library has a huge variety, and pretty much anything, even if they don't have it, I can still get it. So it's really nice. Libraries are great, Seth.
I'm afraid that like this library is going to suck because technically I'm in like a 3 square mile city in the middle of San Diego City right now. It's called Lemon Grove, and it's tiny and kind of sucks. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I live like a block and a half from like the San Diego City line, and we have like different fucking trash people and everything. Like, it's weird. I don't like it here.
It's worth looking into. I mean, like I said, I'm not actually in Milwaukee. I'm in a small village outside of Milwaukee, but it's part of the Milwaukee library system or something. So, you know, I can get books from the big library downtown. So, you know, your library might be connected to the San Diego library. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
I don't live in a big town, and we have several libraries, and you can actually just go online and see what they have and like reserve a book, and then you can do like interlibrary loans. So even if your library doesn't have it, they might be able to move it from another library in the state or the county.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's awesome.
This is a fucking PSA for the library. Now I know what's going on.
It is. I'm telling you.
That
you
was like
and our
delivered.
listeners,
You were reading
the
a
library
script
fucking
right there.
rules.
Thanks for listening to
Give
Library
a hoot,
Wave
read a
Radio. The smooth sounds of book talk.
I have books here that I need to read. I never finished Stephen King's Dark Tower series. I only read the first 2 and then stopped, and I have like the rest.
I started reading the first one and could not get through it.
Oh, God, I hated the first one, and I loved the second one. It was like the weirdest.
First one fucking sucks.
That's like all I keep hearing is that the first one sucks, but I can't like just start with the second one. My brain doesn't work like that.
He eats a bunch of cheeseburgers and murders a whole town. That's like the whole book. That's it. That's all that happens.
Yeah, no, that first one sucks. Oh, and a kid dies for some reason.
All right, I guess I basically read it already.
Yeah, the second one is really good, though. And I don't know how they are from there. Anyway, should we do other things?
Yeah, let's talk about some video games.
Video games.
Let's do that.
So I tried out 2 free-to-play games. I tried out Warframe, which is on PS4. I think it's on PC and Xbox One as well. I've heard it compared to Destiny. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, and you know, there's different classes, and you have different powers. So I guess, in that way, and it takes place in space. You know, I mean, that's like I don't understand the game. Like, I understand like the lore or whatever. And it's are you a bad enough dude to kill things in space? And like that's the game. That's fine by me. It's surprisingly competent though. Like I expected something half-assed, but it's not like a great game. Like it reminds me of a game that was probably a lot of the design sensibilities are from like last gen, like 7th gen, like like a 360 game almost, like the level design and things like that. But even that for like a game that's free is, I don't know, it's not bad. And apparently there's like an open world area. I haven't gone there yet, but like, I don't know how you earn stuff in this game, only because there's a lot of resources and currencies and things to, I mean, it's just out the ass with things that you can have. And that's because anything that you can have can also be bought. So, it's a lot of stuff I don't really understand about it, but in terms of how it plays, surprisingly pretty decent.
Huh.
Although the moment I turned it on, like there's a chat, there's like a chat window,
right.
And there's just a bunch of like homophobic slurs and then ableism slurs, just people just dropping the F word and something about autism. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate games that you talk. Oh my God.
Like, do that many people have keyboards that they're, or are they like just...
Well, you can bring up an in-game keyboard and it's not that difficult to use.
Who has time to be bigoted
well, that's the way I think,
on
like,
an on-screen keyboard?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm too busy playing the game, but I don't know.
All right.
But it's not bad. I mean, it's worth checking out if you're looking for like a first-person shooter with missions and things to unlock and things to buy. If you're into that, they have like mags, like Phantasy Star Online mags, almost.
Sweet.
Like these little companions that follow you around, and they actually do stuff. Like they'll shoot at things or pick things up, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty neat. How much are those? How much do you cost?
I love mags.
Mags are great. And then I also played Fortnite, the Fortnite Battle Royale.
Right.
That's all right. I see why people like it. That one's actually, in terms of, you know, the game design, it's a lot better than Warframe. It's a lot more modern. And that makes sense because it's sort of like built on this foundation of a game that was originally something they charged money for. And they still charge money for the PvE component. They charge money for. Interestingly, when you download the Battle Royale mode, it gives you the choice to play PvE, and then you click on it, and then it's like, nope, just kidding, you got to pay for that. It's like, don't give me the fucking option.
How much is it?
I don't know how much the PvE. I think it's like $30 or something like that. But like, there's different like tiers. You can get like the Founders Pack and the Gold Pack, and it gives you like, you know, more shit or whatever. It said that like the PvE component will be free to play sometime later this year, which honestly makes sense because Fortnite Battle Royale is huge. It's massive. 40 million people are playing this game. I think it's bigger than PUBG, but that's probably because PUBG costs money and Fortnite Battle Royale does not. It was all right. It's 100 people on an island. It's a Battle Royale. You can do you versus everybody, or like you can do like small squads of like 4. So you have, 3 other people on your team. I think one round I did okay. I killed 3 people and then lasted until there was, I think, like 20 some odd other people left, and then I got sniped in the head. Some guy was like building. This is a little bit different PUBG because you can build stuff, because that was like Fortnite's gimmick. And so you can build structures. And this guy was just out there building, and I had a sniper rifle, and I looked out there and I tried to shoot him, and I whiffed it because I'm just not used to the game yet. And he's out there building, and then he stops for a hot second, pops me in the head, and then just goes right back to building. Like, I'm fucking happy. This guy didn't give a shit. He's like, whatever, dude, whatever, I'm building my fort. Leave me the fuck alone. that game offers like no tutorial. I tried to play the PvE first because I was hoping that would be a way to like learn the game. But the game offers like no tutorials or anything like that I'm aware of. So, you know, with Fortnite, like there's no onboarding. With Warframe, you know, there's a little bit of onboarding, but the game is just sort of inscrutable beyond that. And I think that's what I find the most interesting is both games are very playable, but you're still sort of sacrificing something by doing the free to play, and that's like that level of polish that you expect from something you pay money for. Some people aren't going to care about that. Like some people aren't going to notice the difference. Like whatever, just let me point at things and pull the trigger. But you know, when you compare that to you know, other games like Warframe to Destiny, for instance, yes, you pay $6 for Destiny. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit in Destiny, but like there is an effort. There's, you know, to loop you into that game and allow you to familiarize yourself with it. There's a little more polish that you don't get with Warframe. So, yeah, interesting experiences. But otherwise, I've only been playing Overwatch. Just a lot of Overwatch. Playing a lot with the new character Moira, which we talked about briefly when she was announced during the podcast.
We did.
And Moira is awesome. She can toss out these orbs that bounce around, and you can choose whether you toss out a healing orb or a damage orb. And they last for a limited time. They bounce around, and if you toss out a healing orb, it'll heal allies, and it'll sort of like drag over them. It'll continue to travel in the direction you shot it out at, but it'll drag a little more slowly over allies, and damage balls will do that over the same thing over enemies. And boy, those damage balls, those things are going to get nerfed because those things will kill your ass dead. They suck out so much health, it's ridiculous. But on the other hand, her ultimate, it's called Coalescence, and she shoots out like a Dragon Ball Z beam, like a Kahlua Mama, whatever it's fucking called.
Kamehameha?
Yeah, Kahlua Mama.
No.
What was it called?
Kamehameha.
It's like that. And if an ally touch what?
I was just fucking Kahlua Mama. That's just.
I don't know what it's called. I don't watch Dragon Ball.
You don't watch Dragon Ball?
No, I haven't watched Dragon Ball.
Like none of it? Were you a teenager at any point?
Yeah, no, I watch Dragon Ball.
Right,
I don't really watch anime.
Oh, I mean, this doesn't count as anime. You get home from school and it's on
my
Cartoon
mistake,
Network.
Sir. No, I didn't.
I mean, it's totally anime, but it was like, you know.
It was the thing. No, I understand. It's just I never really watched it.
All right.
I knew it began with a K. I didn't know what it was. But it'll heal allies and it'll damage enemies, but like it has wicked bad drop off. Like you have to be basically you have to be shooting that right in someone's face to like really damage them. And so I'm hoping that gets a buff. Plus she's really susceptible. She's really susceptible while she's shooting that. You can be like pinned, stunned, hooked. You can be all kinds of stuff while you're doing. I'm like, wow, thanks for wasting I wasted my shitty ult. Christ. But I really like her. But yeah, that's about all I've been playing, I guess. That's it for me.
Cool.
How about you?
Well, actually, this might be related. Right before I fell into my depressive episode, I did play through Doki Doki Literature Club at Chris's recommendation, and that game's great, man.
See,
like, it starts off really, really boring though, because it starts off like as a really basic VN, and if you're not into VNs, and even if maybe you are, it's just like so goddamn stupid.
It does go on for a little while like that, and that if I had one major complaint about the game, that would be it. Is that the opening? It's hard to even call it the opening because it does go on for a while like that.
Yeah, it's basically like your first playthrough of the game.
Yeah,
which is like I don't know, like 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's close to that.
Yeah,
and then like
so you have to play through the game multiple times in order to.
Yes, but it's all one single narrative. Even though it's multiple times, it's one single narrative. That's
right. You're generally not repeating the exact same things.
Is this sort of like a Groundhog Day kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in a
sort
way.
of.
So, and the game throws a couple of like loops at you. Like it fucks with your expectations in more than one way. And the first time, like the game just gets really unexpectedly dark, which I easily say. There's like warnings when you start the game that if you like suffer from depression or anxiety, that you should probably not play this game.
Right.
But
part
I
of
was
me,
like, ha. No,
part of it,
ahead.
I kind of wish like that wasn't there because it would make the shock like really come out of nowhere. But at the same time, like it is 100% warranted that those warnings are there.
Yeah. So, which I ignored, haha, and then I was sad for a week.
I bet you're sorry now.
Maybe. Yeah, so like shit gets really like dark, and it makes you think that that's the twist. But then there's a whole another twist outside of that it gets very, gets really real and fourth wall breaking. And Chris is right. This can only be done on the PC. There's and I just can't, it could say about as much as he can without reading the game. Maybe me and Chris should do like a special Doki Doki Literature Club short episode or something.
Yeah, we could
just
do that.
Spoil everything. But no, it's really good. It's like really innovative. I like saying innovative instead of innovative.
Innovative.
Innovative. And it's like, shit I've never seen done before. So
yeah,
it's cool
it does
for that
really
factor.
cool things, and it sucks that we can't say exactly what those things are because, you want to talk about them so that to get people excited, but it also would completely spoil the unique things it does.
Yeah.
So, if you have any interest in it, I definitely recommend it.
It's free. It's free, man. Just go download that shit.
It's free and it's only a couple hours. Like, it's not a huge time or money commitment.
Yeah. And then also, while I'm laying in bed being sad, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp came in very handy. And there's this event going on right now where there's like special seeds that grow special flowers that get special butterflies. And if you catch so many of these butterflies, you get special like limited time items. And I started a few days ago. The event's cut into like 2 different 4-day chunks. And the first 4 days, there were like these red and blue flowers that you could grow that would attract red and yellow butterflies. And the catch rate on the there's a garden. You have a garden where you could grow 20 flowers. So let's say you grow like 20 blue butterflies. Maybe 15 butterflies might show up. Not every butterfly is going to get a flower. And then you probably have like a 60% catch rate to get these butterflies, which is fine. And then you got to like regrow the flowers, and you got to like do stupid chores for the animals or whatever to get these flower seeds. So that's fine. It's fairly easy. And then the second half of the event started up, and there's these white flowers now. And these white flowers have what are called winter and gold winter butterflies that show up. And the catch rate on these fucking butterflies is like 20%. So you could grow a field of like 20 flowers, and you could catch like maybe 3 or 4 butterflies out of like that entire yield. And it is like the biggest bullshit ever. And I don't know what the fuck they're thinking on this game. And you can spend 10 leaf tickets. This is what it is. You can spend 10 leaf tickets to ensure a catch of one of these butterflies, which is insane. And you need 40. You need 40 of these butterflies to get all the special limited time items. 40 of each of these butterflies. So, luckily you could trade these butterflies that you catch and like drop them off on another person's garden patch. And I've been doing that with Fabian. Craig commented that it sounded like a mob deal, which is kind of what I was going for. I approached him with the thing. But it's stupid. Like, I've basically been paying nonstop attention to like constantly getting seeds and growing flowers, and I'm still not at my full catch for all these butterflies. And people who are like only playing casually have zero chance of getting these limited time items. And I think it's like really shitty design. All the other events so far that have been in the game have been really easy to get everything, and this one's just it's a time sink. It's a super huge time sink. And
I stopped playing that game.
Oh yeah, it's boring. It's a boring game.
I honestly, well, when you're playing a free to play game, like there are gates, like that there are these funnels where they try to get you to pay money. Mm-hmm. And I knew that. You play one of these games, that. But like as I started playing, I started noticing where those gates were, and in normal course of play, all those gates are interconnected. Like the gates where you need materials to build the amenities, and then you need the amenities to level up to raise the ceiling on the friendship, and you need to raise the ceiling on the friendship to get things for doing favors, and you need to do favors to get the materials. And you see how all these things are connected, and you can't just goof off in the game, because it gets to a point where, like, if you're just running around collecting fruit and doing favors, there's a point where there's no return on that, because you've reached the ceiling on the friendship. And then now this asshole's like, okay, well, you got to build a bunch of furniture and then build the amenity that I like, and then I'll swing by, and then you'll have the opportunity for me to like you more.
Yeah, it's just like real friendship, dude.
It's just like real friendship. And when I guess when I caught on to how all these different things were interconnected, it was gone. Like whatever like spark that game had for me was just poof. It became just a series of I don't even know. Chores isn't even the right word.
It's a very small. It's a very, very tiny gameplay loop, is what it is. And,
yeah.
And it just focuses around just doing these chores so that you could get enough material and stuff to build these amenities to get. Yeah, it's just a very tiny gameplay loop.
And they trickle those materials out. Like, oh, here's 3 wood. I guess I'll build the table that you want when I have like 150 of it. Like, what the fuck? Yes. If you want this table, you better give me some more wood.
Yeah, and like the materials are super unbalanced too, because like there's so many fucking things that use cotton, and so then you just constantly are running out of cotton. And then meanwhile, there's like steel, and I'm like capped out on steel all the goddamn time. I'm like, okay, I have 999 steel. I better sell a bunch of this because there's nothing to use to build it on. So like and so many animals give you steel. Like, I don't need the goddamn steel. Why do you keep giving me steel? I built literally everything that was steel already. I need cotton. And, yeah, it's not super well designed. It's very addicting, though, when you're going after the event stuff like these butterflies.
But that's the thing. Like, it's almost like it really is well designed, but not in the right way.
Right. But I refuse to pay any money on this thing. So, and the stuff that costs leaf tickets, I feel like it costs way too many leaf tickets. I went over this like in the beginning, but it's still the case. Like, to catch one butterfly is 10 leaf tickets, and you need like 40 of 4 different types. That's like an insane amount of leaf tickets if you're going that route. I feel like if they even just made like 1 leaf ticket to guarantee catches on these butterflies, you'd be getting more people spending money. Like, oh, okay, well, it's just fucking 50 extra leaf tickets. I could swing that. But no, like the way they're doing it just makes me not ever want to give them a single fucking penny for this game.
Yeah, that's the problem with microtransactions, where it's, let's say you're the one designing it and you give this game away and you're hoping that you make some money on it because you invested, I don't know, tens of thousands, hundreds of maybe millions of dollars into this game, who knows? And you hope to make a return on it. Like, how do you design those microtransactions? Do you design them around coercion, like this, or you design it? Do you make the games like just so happy and carefree that event like you get the drip, you get the people that are going, yeah, I'll give $1 or $2 here and there, or do you aim for the whales through coercion? Coercion to me doesn't feel good. I drop those games really quickly. Or I don't give them money. So like something like Overwatch, like I'm not going to drop that game. I love that game, but I don't spend money on loot boxes anymore because at this point it feels like coercion. Just the way that the economy works in the game now, how it's changed over time. It's just not. I'm not going to spend money on loot boxes. The only other game I can think of is Puzzle and Dragons. I don't know if you've ever played that.
I haven't played it. No, I'm familiar.
I really enjoyed it on iOS. And I didn't spend a lot of money on it, and I guess that's where the drip comes. You make the game so good that people want to give you money. You probably only get the drips, and I'd toss $1 or $2 here and there at that because I was just really enjoying myself. But I don't like feeling strong armed into having to spend the money. Like that's when I'm like, nah, I'm just not going to play the game at all.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I can't even. Maybe it was Pokemon Go or something. I was playing that game for like weeks, and I didn't need to spend any money on anything, just because there were so many Pokestops near me and everything. I was always loaded up on balls and everything. And I probably dropped like $10 total on that game just because I was like, I've been playing this game for like weeks. It's fun. I'll throw them $10 for just the time I've spent on it. Just to buy some fucking egg hatching things, incubators. But yeah, with this stuff, we're just like, where the cost of the Leaf tickets on everything is so much, it just makes me not ever want to spend it, because like it's like, okay, if I can just waste all my Leaf tickets on this, and then there's just no good return, then just be more things to spend even more Leaf tickets on, you know.
And do you not feel like the entirety of the game is futile because of that? Because that's where I was. If you throw enough time at it, you could definitely do enough things. But if you're trying to just play it casually, then no. I've been dedicating a lot of time to the game lately, so I feel like I can make progress in it just by giving it my time. But yeah, if I was playing casually, I probably would have dropped it, definitely. Anyway, that's me. Christopher?
Cool. I have been playing Wolfenstein: The New Order, which Craig talked a little bit about a couple episodes ago, so I won't go too in-depth on it, but I picked it up. It went on sale shortly after Craig talked about it, and I've been hearing everybody talk about the sequel, and I figure I'm probably going to want to pick that up on Switch, potentially, and so I might as well check out the first one, and it was cheap, so I picked it up. And I like it. I don't play a lot of first-person shooters, but it reminds me of when I did play first-person shooters, like when I was in, middle school, high school on the...
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah, on like the GameCube and the N64 and the PS2 and all that stuff. But it reminds me of those games, You can carry a ton of weapons. You got your health packs and your body armor and all that stuff. It's like I'm playing GoldenEye again. I mean, obviously it's a very different game, but I dig it. The missions are very straightforward. You generally have a point on your map where you have to go, but there's often, different paths you can go down, and you can find, shotguns or assault rifles or whatever. There are newspaper clippings and letters that tell you about the world, and there are treasures you can find and stuff. So it's straightforward, but there are still things to do outside of the main path, which is cool. I really like the stealth elements. It's simple. It's not like you're playing a Metal Gear Solid game or something, but it's fun to sneak up on dudes and take them down with your knife or shoot them with your silenced pistol or whatever. There's a little bit of complexity in there, in that the commanders have radios where they can call in reinforcements if you get spotted. But you can take down the commander, and then they can't call in reinforcements. So. It's interesting, although, again, having played, Metal Gear Solid 2 15 years ago, the stealth stuff doesn't feel too complex. But, being that this is not a stealth game primarily, that's okay. I don't have super high expectations. I don't expect to have to carry dudes into lockers or whatever. I do like that there's a variety of gameplay. There is some stealth stuff, and there, you don't always have to go in guns blazing. Because, like I said, I don't play a lot of first-person shooters, so, having the ability to play it different ways and mix it up a little bit, because I'm not super good at first-person shooters, is really nice. Sometimes you can hide behind cover, or you can dual-wield your assault rifles and go in guns blazing, or you can do stealth, or you can do whatever. And I that really interests me, because there are moments when I have to go in guns blazing, and I'm not very good at it because, again, I don't play a lot of these games. I think you talked about the limited upgrade system, Craig, and I really like that. You don't, rather than earning points that you have to deposit on certain upgrades, they just automatically upgrade when you do certain things. So you do 10 headshots when you're dual wielding, or you do 10 stealth kills, and it automatically upgrades. I didn't even look at the perks menu until chapter 3 or 4, and it didn't matter. Things had already been unlocking. I'd been unlocking stealth points by being stealthy automatically, which is really nice. You don't really have to worry about what you're doing. You just play the game the way that feels good, and it'll automatically upgrade things. But it also kind of encourages you to try different things, because if you're going to unlock, different perks by dual wielding, it encourages me to dual wield, even though I may not have been doing that already. So it's pretty cool in that way.
Is it fast paced? Is the like a movement and shooting and everything fast paced?
It feels good to me, although I don't play a ton of first person shooters. It feels fast paced enough.
All right.
What would you say, Craig?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty fast paced. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it feels
It's not
fast paced
like
to me,
it's not
but I
Serious
just don't
Sam
have a
or
good
anything,
I don't have a good point of reference. So
Okay.
they're trying to do some heavy stuff with the story at points, and like I don't really care. I do like
Yeah,
that.
I don't get that shit. I just want to kill things.
Yeah, like they try to do like this love story, and it's like, all right, whatever. It's weird that they try to juxtapose that with having like a completely unsympathetic, unambiguously evil villain called Colonel Death's Head. I mean, it's like trying to do this, this heavy stuff with love and with, this guy's in a coma and trying to figure out what's going on with the world. And then there's like giant robots and cartoonish villains. And I'm okay with that. I like the cartoonish stuff. I like that, in the real world, there are actual Nazis, apparently, then that's okay in the year 2018. But in this game, it does not try to even sympathize with the villains at all. They are Nazis and they are bad, and that is that. And I appreciate that. And that is literally the only game I played this week.
Wow, Chris hates Nazis. That's fucking...
I know, taking a harsh political
Keep your
stance.
politics out of my Ludowave
Right?
radio.
Sorry, guys, I had to say it.
I'm going to stand for what I believe.
That's right.
I'm going to stand for hating Nazis.
Nazis are the worst. I said it.
That's a hot take right there.
Yeah. I'm still pretty
We
early in
tackle
the
the
game.
tough subjects here on Ludowave radio.
Yeah, we do. We actually do sometimes, but I don't know that this is one of those times. But I really do like the game. I'm like on chapter 6 or 7, something like that. So I've got a ways to go, but I'm enjoying it. I think I will probably keep going with it. But that is literally all I've played this week. Been trying to read those books. So you guys want to talk about some news?
Yeah, let's do news.
Let's do it.
All right. We had that Nintendo Direct Mini this week, which people were freaking the fuck out about before it happened.
That was insane. I'd never seen people be so, like, I don't even know. What would you call that?
Yeah, I don't even know what the word for that would be, but people were freaking out ahead of that.
The hype was palpable.
And it
They
didn't
were
help
frothing.
that Nintendo was like trolling people with the fiery chibi robo.
Oh, so good. I
loved that.
Shit posting Nintendo is so good.
Oh, it was my favorite thing. But we did eventually get this Nintendo Direct Mini, and a lot of the stuff that they have coming out in the first half or so of the year is not. It's a lot of ports and stuff, but it's a lot of new games coming out on Switch, and as we've talked about, I love the Switch, and the fact that you can play things portably makes me excited for anything that's coming to Switch. So we're getting a port of Dark Souls Remastered coming to Switch, and also to PS4 and Xbox One because it was a last gen game. It includes all the DLC. It'll be $40 coming out in May. I'm going to pick this up because I never played Dark Souls originally or any of the sequels. So it's always seemed like something I was kind of interested in. But having it on the Switch portable and all that is definitely appealing to me. You guys into Dark Souls?
I played Demon Souls for a little bit and some of Dark Souls at a friend's house. I feel like it's a game that I could get into, but I just don't feel like dedicating my time to at the same time. Because like those games just like drop you off like in fucking medieval towns. Be like, oh, you don't know what to do, and we're not going to tell you what to do. Just fucking run off in directions and get killed and things until you start figuring shit out. And I'm like not always in the mood for that type of thing.
Yeah, the fact that it'll be
worse than that. Bloodborne, you had to die. You had to in order to progress, you had to die on the first battle. And the game doesn't tell you that. The game is like, here you go, just stress yourself out trying to fight this battle you can't win.
Games used to do that shit all the time. Fucking Ninja Gaiden on DS, Dragon Sword does that. Like their first boss is like super hard and You're just struggling to beat it. Actually, I think if you do beat it, you unlock like a hard mode and a secret character. That's how hard it is to beat. But yeah, you're just like stressing out trying to beat this like a super impossibly hard thing. I'm aware of that tactic. I've played that game.
That sounds so bullshitty. We've got ports of Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Hyrule Warriors coming to Switch. I'm interested in Tropical Freeze because I never finished it on Wii U, but the fact that it's $60, or it seems to be $60 based on all the price listings.
But there's Funky Kong, Chris.
There is Funky Kong, which seems to combine all the abilities of all the other characters and make it kind of an easier mode, which might be right for me because, like I said, I never finished the game. But I will definitely pick it up at some point, but I don't know if $60 is right for me.
Yeah, it seems a little high. I'm not usually not one to like complain about game prices, but I feel like this game would benefit if it was a little 40 maybe.
If I remember, it was, I want to say it was $50 when it like first launched on Wii U. Like it came out at $50. So
it definitely did. You are right about that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that Funky Kong tax. That's what that is.
Funky Kong tax, man.
Funky Kong is $10.
Yeah. If it was $40, I'd probably be in, but $60 is a little steep, especially considering the original release was less than that. And Hyrule Warriors I'll pick up at some point because I'm a Zelda freak and I have to have it, but I'll probably wait for a price to drop on that too.
Hyrule Warriors is the better fucking deal because it comes with like the $43 worth of DLC.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't want to pay $60 for it, but I'm not going to say it's not worth $60 because it has all the content from the 3DS game and the Wii U game and the season pass, and Breath of the Wild costumes as well. So
this will be my fourth time buying this fucking.
There is so much content in Hyrule Warriors. Like nobody's ever fucking done everything in that game. I can guarantee that with every fiber of my being. I know that nobody's 100% of that game.
Yeah, I played the main story on Wii U and I enjoyed it, but like I never got into the adventure mode and all that stuff. Like there's so much in that game.
There's so much.
And that was just the original game, not even counting the 3DS one, which I also own but haven't even opened. We're getting a new Mario Tennis on Switch, which is reportedly bringing back the story mode that was like in the Game Boy games that people really liked.
All right, I'm gonna it doesn't look the same. Like the Game Boy games had like an RPG where like you're running around story mode. The little brief snippets of story mode on this one look like you're on some sort of like a map, like a Super Mario type map where you're going from area to area, which is still better than what we've been fucking getting in these Mario Tennis games. But I still don't think it looks like the RPG light shit from the Game Boy games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how in-depth this is going to be. I think it's interesting that Nintendo is actively referencing those Game Boy games when they say this has a new story mode, which, they say, oh, it hasn't had one since the Game Boy games. And you'd think that if they're referencing that, then they're hopefully going to deliver something on that level, but it wouldn't be the first time that things haven't lived up to expectations. So
yeah, I mean, it's still, like I said, it's still better than the bare bones 3DS and Wii U games.
Yeah.
So I'm probably in.
Yeah, I'll probably skip it. I'm not big on the Mario sports games, but I never even played the Game Boy ones with the RPG mode. I do need to get into Golf Story though. So Mario Odyssey is getting an update with Luigi's Balloon World, which will have mini games, and it's getting some new costumes, which is pretty cool. I mean, that game had a lot of content initially. I put 40 hours into it or whatever, and more content's good.
Yeah.
And this is free content, right?
Yeah, it's free update.
You hide and find balloons. I feel like they didn't explain this super well. Like either there's not a lot to it or they didn't explain it well.
It seems like there's not a lot to it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I was like, all right, it's like you got 1 minute to find balloons. I'm like, is that it? Is that enough time? I don't.
Should I be making other plans?
Yeah, I still have a lot of moons to find in that game. So whenever I go back to it, I'll probably check that out. But it's not something that's going to make me jump in right away.
Mm-hmm.
The World Ends With You is getting ported to Switch.
Oh my god!
How do you feel about this, Craig?
About that game?
That's awesome. That's great. That's I mean, for our listeners who don't know, that's my favorite game from the 7th generation. Like, all together, like, of all the consoles. I love that game. It's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Is Final Remix the same version that was, like, on iPads and shit?
That's my best guess because it's a single screen.
Right.
But the one that was on mobile teased 7 more days. Like, it teased a sequel.
Right.
With a female character. And apparently that's 7 more days. Like, that's...
In this one.
In this
Is that
one,
what the epilogue is in this game, supposedly?
Well, people thought it was a sequel. I guess if it's like bonus content, like an epilogue tacked on, it's probably not the same size as the original game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people were hoping for, but that's probably not the case.
Right.
With the way that they're framing it, unfortunately.
I never got far in the DS game. I only got up to, I think, like the second week with Joshua or whatever. So I'm gonna definitely pick this one up and play through all of it.
I can't wait. I love this game.
And let me tell you, even though I didn't get very far in the original game, I bought both albums because the game has fucking awesome music.
Yeah, me too. I bought both albums too.
Yeah. I never played the original game, but I'm definitely going to pick this up. You know, I've heard such good things from you, Craig, but also, you know, everywhere else it seems like. So I'm excited for this. And Ease 8 is coming to Switch. I think that's out on PS4 now. Is that correct?
It's out. Yeah.
Vita.
It's somewhere. I own it on PS4, so it's out.
But more games for Switch is always a good thing.
You didn't put in the SNK Girls Fighter game.
No, I didn't. Sorry, my bad. You talk about it.
No. All right. It sort of looks like a spiritual sequel to the Neo Geo Pocket game Gals Fighter.
Gals Fighter.
But like with more sexism.
Oh, good. Just what I was
Gals
hoping for.
Fighter was weird because it was sort of like frilly and girly.
Oh yeah, it was super girly.
And then this is more for like male gaze.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like a very hard turn.
Yeah.
Well, me and Seth and maybe 3 other people played Gals Fighter at home. It's my favorite game on the Neo Geo Pocket.
It's so good.
It's
so good. Yeah, so like basically there's tons of costumes and accessories and everything, and you can dress the girls up, and they're very skimpy. And I don't know if there's going to be free unlocks or if SNK is like trying to go after that Dead or Alive money where they think they could sell some of this stuff, have like $5,000 worth of DLC, but I don't know.
They're barking up the wrong tree if they're doing it on the Switch. I don't see that happening.
The game's also coming out on PS4.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's not the audience for that kind of shit.
Yeah, no. Interesting, in the West at least, on PS4, it's only physical like in a $130 special edition, and otherwise you got to buy it. Otherwise you got to buy a digital download. And then on Switch,
what about Switch though?
On Switch, it's getting a regular release and the special edition release.
Weird.
Yeah. Very strange.
All right. Sorry, I skipped over it.
No, that's fine.
Sorry, I skipped over you.
That's what I was trying to say. We're getting a new Scribblenauts game, apparently. Scribblenauts Showdown coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, which is a card-based multiplayer thing with like 25 minigames, which seems like an interesting turn for Scribblenauts, but okay. There's also a sandbox mode which plays more like regular Scribblenauts. Was anybody clamoring for a new Scribblenauts game? Is there like a lot of... Does that have a lot of cachet?
I don't think so anymore.
I was surprised to see this was a thing that people were talking about, but...
It's kind of a shame that Warner Brothers didn't exploit... Because this is... I mean, it's got good characters designs. It's got a great... Scribblenauts. It's a great name.
Yeah.
And, I think the first game was kind of sloppy, but the second game, Super Scribblenauts, that game was actually really good.
Yeah.
And they just never... I mean, if they really wanted to make this a franchise, they shouldn't have half-assed it the way they have for the past, decade or whatever.
Right.
They should have really jumped on that because there's opportunity there, but I don't think they ever capitalized on it.
Right. The last game was around Wii U launch, I think, right? I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, there was like Scribblenauts Unmasked and then another one. I have them on 3DS. In fact, I think you sent them to me.
That sounds right. I'll take your word for it. And this is a different developer too. This is Shiver Entertainment, who has made free-to-play games and mobile games. So I don't know how well this is going to turn out because I
They don't even have Fifth Cell. I bet Fifth Cell could use the work.
yeah, it's from what I read when I was putting these notes together. They're still open, but they're not working on this game, and so I think that's too bad because they created Scribblenauts, and I thought Scribblenauts was a great concept when it first came out, and
Yeah,
like you said, Super Scribblenauts was great. So,
Aren't they working on like that Lox Quest? Did that already come out? I could have sworn they were working on like the Lox Quest like HD remake or something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's Fifth Cell, right? Fifth Cell did Lox Quest, right? Am I wrong?
I have no idea. I don't know what Lost Quest is.
Oh yeah, that was
Quest
was that a DS game?
Yeah, it was a DS game. It was like an action tower defense. It was actually really good. Lox Quest was really, really good. But I could have sworn that. Yep, it's a Fifth Cell game.
All right.
And
Are they doing the remake?
I guess the remake already came out. It
Oh.
came out in May, according to Wikipedia.
Nice.
I do not remember hearing
Okay,
about
so
that
I
at
have
all.
no idea what I'm talking. Clearly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So.
I'm interested to see if this Scribblenauts game is any good, but I don't exactly have high hopes. Like, yeah. But we are getting Detective Pikachu, so how about that?
I'm in. I'm into this.
I am actually more interested in this than I would be in a regular Pokemon game, so you got your gruff, coffee drinking, talking Detective Pikachu, not voiced by Danny DeVito, but he might as well be. And
That's what I understand. Ryan Reynolds voices him in the movie,
Yeah.
yes.
but they didn't do Ryan Reynolds. So it's like, okay, that's fine. So you're going to do this scruff ass voice, and everybody wanted Danny DeVito. Was Danny DeVito's was his bid too much? Like, come on, get Danny DeVito in this role.
I read that he turned down to audition for it. I heard that it was offered to him, and that he turned down the audition.
Really, he must be sitting tight with that Always Sunny money. That's-
Yeah. I mean, dude was the Lorax. I'm surprised he turned down Pikachu.
I don't know, man.
Well, I guess at least Nintendo tried, so there's that.
Yeah.
It is surprising they'd wait so long to bring this out and then not use something that sounds like Ryan Reynolds or actually use Danny DeVito. Because we didn't hear about this game for the longest time. All we were hearing about was the movie. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
From what I understand, there's a second episode that just released in Japan, and then
is there?
So then the physical version is both episode 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
Together.
Okay, so what we're getting is the complete thing.
The complete Detective Pikachu experience.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'm okay with it then. And there's also an amiibo coming, which is twice as big as the regular Pikachu amiibo.
It's huge. I want this.
It's
Pikachu.
7 some odd inches tall.
It's a $30 amiibo.
But he's got a really cute hat, so
Then I'm
hashtag Malibu Stacy.
Talk me into it.
She's got a new hat. And last but not least, Microsoft is bringing back the Duke for the Xbox One. The Duke was
I've seen 5 people excited for this, so I'm very happy for them.
That's probably all of the people on the internet that are excited for this.
I don't understand this. I don't understand. It's $80. People are scoffing at the Joy-Cons. This thing is an $80 monstrosity that will give you hand cramps. It's wired, and then the Duke had a jewel in the front of it. It's just this plastic thing that said Xbox. It was the size of a fucking frisbee. I swear to God,
It's huge.
And then this thing, it's an OLED screen now, and it plays the Xbox startup noise.
Is that all it does?
That's all it does. That's all this OLED screen does.
To be fair, they said that the article said that they want to make it do more than that. Although, if the Duke is the only controller that has this screen on it, what the fuck else are they going to do with it? I don't know.
This controller fucking sucks. I know people like the Duke, but man, this thing's terrible.
2 experiences with this controller. I went to some motocross thing at the sports arena over here, and they right before the Xbox launched, and they had Microsoft had this huge tent out in the parking lot, And inside was like all crazy music and fog machines and laser lights and a bunch of Xbox displays. And a bunch of the lines are long, but I waited in one to play the Tony Hawk 2 port that they had for the launch of the Xbox. And playing Tony Hawk 2 on the fucking Duke was the worst goddamn experience. It has the diamond button layout, but then it's like tilted. So like you're like reaching for the buttons and you're like missing them because they're tilted in the wrong direction, and then they're all thin and stupid. And
it's like someone turned that diamond, like they turn on italics for the diamond.
Yes. And I was like, fuck, this is the stupidest controller I've ever played. And then one of my sister's roommates like bought an Xbox right when it came out, and I wanted to I borrowed it. He let me borrow it so I could play Oddworld, Abe's whatever Xbox launch one there was. And just like trying to play Oddworld on that was horrifying as well, and I stopped playing. I eventually did play the game when the S controller came out, and it was perfectly fun and playable then. But goddamn, that goddamn Duke was
like the analog stick tops. They're different. Like
yeah.
they has two different ones, and the D-pad is like it's just like this weird wavy disc. I don't. As soon as it came out here, I bought that baby hands controller.
Yes,
I'm not messing around with that fucking Duke. I love the controller S is really good. It's sort of that's still also big and bulky, but that's a far better controller than
it was. Such a nice controller. I loved it.
It felt sturdy.
Yeah, but I hope those people enjoy their giant, just horrible controller.
Also, let's be honest. If Nintendo released $100 gimmick ass controller, we'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Xbox has fanboys along the lines of us.
Oh, definitely.
As we are for Nintendo.
I would say like
I'm sure they do.
Like teenagers who are teenagers now who like grew up with.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But if Nintendo released some corny ass controller, we'd be talking about how great it is right now.
Yeah.
That's
I'll probably be like, oh, this new N64 controller is awesome. Look at all this dust powder on the control stick.
right. The analog stick breaks just like the old one.
Well, remember, they did release the new GameCube controller when Smash Brothers came out for Wii U. Granted, it wasn't $80, but God. No, I read a quote from the guy designing this or the head of the design or whatever. He's like, this isn't a nostalgia trip where you can play all your 8-bit games. This is the place where we started from. You can play the most modern technology we've released with the most modern games on this controller. That's not why we want nostalgic controllers. I mean, I when I play my Super NES Classic, and I love that the controller is, the SNES controller. But that's because I remember playing those games on that controller, and it feels right. I don't want to play modern games on this monstrosity of a controller.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'd want to play original Xbox games on it for the nostalgia, but I don't know. I do not understand this. But you're probably right. Were it a, N64 controller, I'd probably be all in, so... What can I say?
I need to look up a good picture of this because one of the Forbes articles, like the original Duke. I just need to see what they did with the black and white buttons and everything. The black and white buttons were just a horrible idea as well. I don't know what Microsoft was thinking of those things.
What is that? Well, it does kind of give it. I mean, if it wasn't so stupid and italicized, it kind of does make it a 6-button controller.
It does, but then on the S controller, like they're like down in like a weird spot.
Yeah,
so it's like it's like having two select buttons.
But they fixed the diamond on that one.
Yeah.
You can't have it. Apparently, Microsoft's like, no, you get shitty italics or you get a real diamond. You take your pick. You can't have both. We can't put 6 buttons on this controller.
Man, it's like, all right, where's the black and white button? Way down there. They're the option buttons.
And those buttons are only identified by their color. They're not even called anything.
Yeah, it's just like press that, and then I'll have a picture of the button. Press the button.
But that's kind of like their new stuff. That's kind of like their hamburger and boxes button now. Like they don't have names.
Yeah. Anyway, that thing's dumb.
Anyway, that thing's dumb. I think we're going to cut off news there. Let's move on.
No, well, Labo.
Oh, yeah, Labo.
Labo.
Yeah, I put that at the top of my list, and then I was saving it for last, so I totally forgot about it. It's not even a big deal anyway. Is Labo how you say it? It's a weird word. Let's go with Labo. Labo is Nintendo's new
Some guy named Labo.
Switch DIY kits where you can build accessories out of cardboard, which totally sounds like I'm making that up. So if for some reason you haven't heard about Labo, go look it up because I'm not making that up.
I feel like you're not drinking the Labo Kool-Aid, Chris.
I do think it's super cool. Like, I don't think it's for me, but I think it's super cool. You know, if I were a kid, I would be way into this, and I actually really want to get this for my nephew.
That was my immediate response when I saw this. I was like, "Oh my god, my grandniece would love this," because it's if I was a kid, if I was like 10, I would like love having something like this. I'm buying it anyway, but I'm not 10, so it just kind of makes it sad.
Grandniece?
Yeah. My nephew has a daughter.
Dang.
Wow.
He's only 3 years younger than me.
That's just multi-generational right there.
Yeah. I mean, she got to meet her great-great-grandfather before he died, so.
Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible.
Anyway, Labo.
Back to Labo.
I think these are really cool. One of the kits is a piano, and what I think is really cool is that on the Switch screen, it shows you step-by-step instructions and animations on how to build it. And as you're building it, it actually also shows you how it works. And some of these things are like just really clever. You know, one of the Joy-Cons has an infrared
that everybody
sensor
said
on
was useless for so long because it was.
Right, because it didn't do anything.
Nintendo had shit up their sleeve.
Yeah, they did.
Right, because with the Labo stuff, like with the piano, for instance, it sits in the back, and the piano keys, when they move, they have like reflective strips on them, and it knows which key is being pressed. The infrared sensor sees which one it is, and that's how it knows. That's how the Switch knows which note to play, and that's really low tech, but amazingly clever at the same time.
It is amazingly clever. Like when I was watching the trailer, you see them play this cardboard piano, and you're like, that doesn't really work, but it does, and it's super clever.
It's the same way like the robot works. Like as you like pull your hand levers and foot levers, like it slides like little cardboard blocks up through the backpack, and then the controller sees which little cardboard things are sliding around in your backpack. So it's like just super well used ideas for these Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool that the Switch screen actually displays like how this stuff works. Like it's not just, here, build this build your shitty paper peripherals. It's it's actually a learning. There actually is a learning component to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that it's using the Switch in all these different ways. It's taking advantage of this camera thing. It's also taking advantage of like the HD Rumble. You can build an RC car, which you control it with the screen, and the Joy-Cons use the Rumble to actually drive the little car, which is like that's just so clever. Who the fuck thinks of that?
The people got hands-on with it, said like it works like decently well for fucking something that's just being controlled by a rumbling motor that you could actually get it to go different directions and everything. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is really clever. I don't know that it's for me, but I honestly might buy it just to try out all the stuff, just to see if it really works as well as it looks like it does.
That's my big thing. I mostly just want the I don't remember what they call the non-robot kit. The
variety kit.
The variety kit.
All right. So I mostly just want the variety kit just because it looks like it'll be just fun to construct and tinker around with and see how everything works and how well it works and everything. And then I sort of just bought the robot kit because I was like, oh, I'm already getting the other one. But I'm hoping at least on the robot, like the software is more fleshed out and there's like a full game in there somewhere because otherwise...
Yeah, I mean, the variety kit is obviously a bunch of what seems like mini games or toys, not a full experience. Since the robot kit is one specific thing, I would hope it'd be a little more fleshed out than the other kit. But
yeah, because otherwise it's I don't know, like you build a fucking giant backpack for a weekend and then you're done with it forever.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work.
And that's my concern with this, is that like I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it like I played Nintendo Land or Wii Play or one of those things where it's fun, but I play it for like a week and then never touch it again. You know, not to say that it's not going to be worthwhile or that, you know, these aren't really cool ideas, but it's not something that's going to hold my interest for the longest time. But obviously, I'm not the audience. Kids are the audience. So
let's be realistic. That's how most people are going to play these things. It's not. I'm not saying it to be like, because I think it's a phenomenal idea. I really do. Also, I'm gonna also, you know, add in, it's probably not for me either. But like, even for the people that it is for, they're not going to be like picking. It's not going to make their game of the year list. They're not going to be picking this thing up from 5 years from now, playing their cardboard ass like robot game.
That's fair. It is super cool, though. You know, I love that Nintendo is taking advantage of, like I said, all these different components. The IR, the HD Rumble, the touchscreen, all of it. Super cool.
Even if it's just a flash-in-the-pan success and everybody buys it and then is done with it, it's going to fucking do its part of making Nintendo money.
Yeah.
And it's like, at least you don't have a bunch of plastic peripherals to throw away. Just throw that shit in the blue bin. It's all recyclables.
That's true.
I just think it shows a thoughtfulness about play in a way that, like, other companies aren't doing. Like, Sony and Microsoft are not. Like, here's the Duke control with your OLED screen that makes the Xbox startup noise. And I was like, that's cool. Here's a cardboard fishing pole.
Well, my thing is like, this is actually toys to life. Like the Skylanders and Amiibo and Lego Dimensions and all that stuff. Like they're toys that you just sort of stick on a portal or scan in or whatever. And everybody calling them like toys to life. And that's like all people could think of for how to integrate traditional toys with video games. But I feel like this is that fully realized where you're actually playing with a toy and a game at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
if
like,
I was 10, I'd be totally into it.
Yeah, it's like if Rob wasn't shitty. It's like if Rob wasn't a horrible shitty.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's like that fully realized. But yeah, no, I think it's a super cool idea.
Yeah. I was going to say something, and I totally zoned out and forgot what it was while I was listening to you guys.
All right. Do we want to do listener questions then? Mailbag?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. I totally have this pulled up already. Okay. Objo on Twitter says, what would Nintendo have to do to get you to purchase a Labo set, assuming you aren't interested at all? And that would go for both of you. Like, what would be incentivizing for you guys, where you'd actually be like, all right, maybe I do need this?
I don't think it could. I just don't want a bunch of cardboard shit hanging around. Nah, but seriously, like, what am I going to... Because like, you buy it, it's these flat sheets, but then you build it, and now you get your giant, stupid robot backpack. What do you do with that?
You could deconstruct it after you build it, yeah? Just stick it back in its flat-ass box.
Are you going to build it again when you want to play it again?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
What about if like Nintendo attaches to like one of their big IPs in like some sort of way where what if like there's a Mario Paint that used this or something?
Mario Paint's not enough.
Is Mario Paint a big IP?
No, okay. Well, Mario is. How about like
resurrect this 25-year-old game?
How about a Paper Mario that like used cardboard stuff? And I don't know.
Is it like the last like 3 Paper Marios?
No.
Okay, then maybe. That's what it would take. No, I mean, if there's like a Zelda game attached to it, I would probably buy it and never play it. So that's what it would take for me to buy it. If you ask me what it would take for me to play it, nothing would. I can't. I'm not going to do that.
One of the things that they showed in the video that wasn't in, that's not in either of the kits, was a camera. How about like a Pokemon Snap game?
Yeah, that's interesting. They had a couple things. They had the camera. They had like a bird.
Yeah, they did have a bird.
They had a couple things that were not in the 2 Toy-Con kits. The camera's kind of cool. I just, like I said, what am I going to do with this cardboard?
The camera's small enough, I feel like, where it wouldn't be like wouldn't be taking up a bunch of space or anything, you know?
That's true. I don't know. I'm in a weird position where I think this is one of the most clever things a console manufacturer has done, but I'm also just I have no interest in playing it myself.
Yeah, for me, I think it's almost more interesting that it's not tied to an IP. You know, this is so completely unique, and they're trying to just do something completely unique with it. So I don't know that tying it to Mario or Zelda would make me more interested in it. Like you said, I would buy it if it were Zelda themed, and I'd probably play it, to be honest with you. But I don't know that I would be excited about it. You know, the way it is now, I'm excited about it, although that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to buy it. Which
right.
I guess tying Zelda to it would be better for them, at least for me, because they get money out of it. But I think this is very exciting. But again, it's just not for me. So I honestly, I don't know what they could do to get me excited to want to play it more. So.
All right. And then Ilias on Twitter says, I think it's innovative but impractical. Cardboard toys for kids. They will break on day one. I mean, there's different kinds of cardboard. It's not like all Amazon shipping boxes. There's definitely sturdier cardboard than that. But it's definitely going to be a thing, especially for younger kids. I think a lot of these pieces can get destroyed.
I think there's like a sweet spot. I mean, to me, like these kids, like the kids that, you know, this is perhaps best appropriate for, the sort of kids where like they're not going to break it, you know, like 10 to 12 seems like the sweet spot. Yeah, you give it to a 5-year-old, they're going to break it, but
right.
It's probably not for a 5-year-old.
Right.
So the 10 to 12-year-old nerds who want to build cardboard things for their video games are probably going to take better care of it than people expect. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I would think. Yeah,
Nerd
I know
kids.
I would if I was. I mean, I kept all my card backs from like Ninja Turtles or whatever. So that's, you know.
Right. I think it's not going to be as big an issue as some people think. It looks like really sturdy cardboard, and it looks. IGN France, I guess, apparently reported that Nintendo was going to like hook up people with free prints for these things, where if they wanted to cut out their own, but then they rescinded on that. So I have no idea where that's at now. But I mean, if people will just be able to scan it in, I'm sure you'll be able to make replacements for whatever cardboard pieces,
or order replacements or something. Because I mean, it's a sad day, you know, when like your older brother steps on your cardboard piano or something. You know?
Right.
Nah, I mean that's going to happen.
No, it's totally going to happen.
So many dogs are going to chew these things up. Cats are going to be climbing through them.
But I mean, if they just sell like, oh, here's the piano, no software, no other Toy-Con stuff with it, you know, a couple of bucks for a replacement. I can't imagine it's going to be that expensive.
It's a slab of cardboard. So yeah, I don't know. It might be an issue, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. And that's all we really have for the mailbag. Nobody on Facebook. Nobody on Facebook mailbagged us.
Nobody gave a shit.
I might cut up Facebook mailbag. Nobody likes us there anymore.
Facebook sucks
Somebody's
anyway.
cut out Facebook. Facebook sucks.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do next mailbag will be up on February 1st. So look for it then, and then you could get in some comments or questions for episode 15.
Speaking of February 1st, that's when Night in the Woods comes out on Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah, I'm eager to play that.
It is a good video game. I'm going to buy it a second time.
I'm going to buy it a first time.
I don't know what it is.
I think you'd like it.
Will it make me sad?
Be quite possibly, yes.
What doesn't, am I right?
This is a good point.
It looks cute.
It's very good. It's very good.
All right.
All right, so are we done with this mediocre podcast?
This was a decently fine podcast, Craig. Don't hate on this
I think
podcast.
that's the very definition of mediocre. So we're in agreement then, right? So,
Yeah, but you make it sound like a bad thing, and I'm making it sound like a good thing. Let's try this.
okay, so
Are we done with this mediocre podcast? I think
we'll go with what you said. What would you call it? Decently good? Is that
decently fine? Decently fine.
Fine.
I think that sums up. I think that's it. Can we get some iTunes reviews calling us decently fine? That would be great. I think that says it all.
Our self-esteem needs it.
Yep.
That's the Kahlua Mama needs it.
It's Kamehameha. He was the king of Hawaii, Craig. Or maybe Kamehameha means king in whatever Hawaiian language that was. I don't know.
What's that got to do with laser beams?
There's like I don't know. There's like some weird Hawaiian connection into that whole.
Is there really?
Yeah, Dragon Ball thing. At least with the Kamehameha, yeah. I feel like there's other things too, but I can't think of them right now. But
is that how they battle each other over pineapple on pizza?
Never fucking put a pineapple on a goddamn pizza ever. That is disgusting. It ruins pizzas. You don't stick like a. All right, pineapple shouldn't.
No, I don't think it belongs there either. I just thought maybe forget it. It was apparently it was a bad joke.
Pineapple should not be like a warm pizza temperature, and it should not be mixed with cheese and tomato sauce.
I agree. I don't think that belongs there. But I'm a plain pizza kind of guy. Like I'm a no frills, keep it simple in terms of flavor profile.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, I'll eat other stuff on it, but just not pineapple.
Yeah, I will like literally eat any kind of pizza except for pineapple. You know, in Canada, you could get like green olives on every pizza place. You could get green olives on your pizza.
Green olives?
Like, yes. I'm like, why? Who's liking green? They're like bitter and gross. Fucking ruining pizzas is what they're doing.
Green olives are good.
They're not black olive good. Like green olives are good in, I don't know, like in a certain way. Like if you want some briny, vinegary stuff.
I don't like any olives, so I'm over here gagging.
You like olives? Do you like pineapple on pizza?
No. But I would probably sooner have pineapple than olives. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no,
right.
It's a disaster.
I don't want either one, but if I had to pick...
My girlfriend's favorite pizza is pineapple and green olive.
Nah.
Your girlfriend is the fucking worst.
Yeah, I know.
I hope she's listening and she just heard me call her the fucking worst, because she's the fucking worst.
She's the fucking worst. I'm not disagreeing.
Do they have poutine on pizza up there?
They do.
French fries?
Yeah,
There's actually a poutine pizza I can get in Milwaukee right now. I really want to get it, but
their Costco, like they're fucking their Costco has poutine at the little Costco food stand.
That's good.
That's how prevalent their poutine is.
I love some poutine.
Anyway, thank you for listening to the poutine episode.
The poutine and libraries episode.
The Hawaiian pizza Kahlua Mama poutine episode. We're just very food centric, I guess. Or alcohol.
Do a food episode. I'm hungry now.
About food games to talk about Cookie Mama.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. Burger time
and cooking mini games and
Burger time.
Burger time. Yeah,
it's a good game.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening. You can. I always botch you out. This outro is so long. God damn it. You can find this on SoundCloud. It's soundcloud.com/Ludowave Radio. You can also find this on your favorite podcast application. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, all of those things. Please rate and review us on those platforms. It'd be greatly appreciated. You can find us Ludowave Radio. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter at Ludowave Radio on both. Our theme song is composed exclusively for us by Morning Moon and Mercury. You can find more of his stuff at morningmoonandmercury.bandcamp.com. You can find me, Craig, on Instagram and Twitter. I am at TV and Lust on both. Seth, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Seth Gastelum. And Chris?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at eChrisDunn.
And we're out.
Bye.
Bye.